Welcome to a very special episode of the Vanntage Point. Early in the history of the channel, I did a series of videos that I called Geography Goes to Hollywood. I hoped that my love of movies and geography, especially historical geography, would make for an interesting series, but they attracted only 1,000 or so views. I next did a series on Appalachia and the channel took off. Today I'm combining my love of movies with my deep love and appreciation for Appalachia by visiting my hometown of Oliver Springs, Tennessee to experience October Sky Day. I came away from that visit with both pride and a touch of sadness. Why, might you ask? It'll take a few minutes for me to explain my reaction. I hope you'll join me. The movie October Sky told a fact-based story about a group of Appalachian boys who were inspired by the 1950 space race with the Soviet Union and the appearance of the Soviet capsule Sputnik that they witnessed in the night sky on October 4, 1957. The article was written by retired NASA astronaut Homer Hickam. It was titled Big Creek Missile Agency. It appeared in an issue of Air and Space magazine. The article was expanded into a book called Rocket Boys. The book was warmly received by both critics and the public, so it was made into a movie called October Sky. It was released in theaters in February 1999. The film was directed by Joe Johnston and starred Jake Gyllenhaal, Laura Dern, and Chris Cooper. The film also featured youngsters like Chad Lindbergh, William Lee Scott, and Chris Owen. Although the movie was shot in Oliver Springs, Tennessee, the story was set in Coalwood, West Virginia. That's perfectly fine because before the United States government bought up nearby communities in what's today Oak Ridge as part of the Manhattan Project, coal was a leading industry in Oliver Springs. What's especially interesting is that before it was a coal town, it was actually a resort community that featured hotels and healing springs. During the Victorian era, a number of fine homes were built. As part of my visit, I was given a tour of the Oliver Springs Historical Museum by Jerry White, the president of the Oliver Springs Historical Society. I have to say that I was impressed with what Jerry and other town leaders did with the museum. After all, when I was in high school, the brick building was a large and really old business called Darty's Auto Repair Shop. I even had my 1967 Plymouth Fury serviced there once. If the story of the Rocket Boys was actually set in West Virginia, why was it filmed in Oliver Springs, Tennessee, as well as Petros and Knoxville, Tennessee? Well, as I already mentioned, both Coalwood, West Virginia, and Oliver Springs were Appalachian coal towns. But after the company closed its operation, Coalwood fell into decay, with many homes and buildings too dangerous to be used as anything but curiosity pieces of a bygone era. According to Joe Johnston, October Sky's director, they would have loved to shoot the movie in West Virginia, but the roads in and around Coalwood and nearby Welch were just too curvy and remote to be easily traversed. Access to filming locations is important because there are many props, personnel, and construction materials used in creating a realistic movie set. Oliver Springs was chosen because it offered the look and feel of a 1950s coal town with easy access to major highways and McGee-Tyson Airport. Aside from painting Oga Coal Company on the facades of local businesses in Oliver Springs, gravel and dirt were brought in and scattered on Main Street to resemble the rustic appearance of a thoroughfare in a coal town, which, of course, Oliver Springs was from the 1920s through the early 1970s. Johnston also stated that within 30 miles of Oliver Springs, they were able to find period coal facilities, schools, houses, and roads that they needed to create the impression of a town set in yesteryear. Besides that, the Appalachian landscape was similar to Coalwood's hollers and hills. Hotels were available in Oak Ridge and Knoxville so the actors and crew could stay rested and refreshed. The inside of Homer Hickam's house, by the way, was actually filmed in my first cousin Terry Holland's home. It's within a block of downtown area of Oliver Springs, but the scenes showing the exterior of Homer's house or home, as well as mining facilities, were shot in Petros, about 10 miles west in Morgan County. Anyone who has researched the movie for more than 10 minutes, or a few minutes anyway, would likely know everything that I just mentioned with the exception of possibly Terry's house. What I didn't expect on my visit to Oliver Springs for October Sky Day was a rich and rewarding rediscovery of the town where my paternal ancestors settled in the early 1800s. Many members of my family still live there today. A career as a professor lured me away from home and family in 1989. In the ensuing years, there were many changes in Oliver Springs, including a small decline in population. Since 1999, however, nearly all the changes have been for the good. What was most impressive to me was how much the movie October Sky simultaneously woke up the town of Oliver Springs while helping its leaders to recognize its rich history, architecture, and development potential. Ironically, my visit to October Sky Day Festival in Oliver Springs made me feel oddly sad for Coalwood, West Virginia, and many other once thriving little coal towns scattered throughout central and southern Appalachia. It declined to 900. Today the town is nearly uninhabited. Its once fine homes are decaying at a fast pace. In 1980, Oga Coal Company sold its Coalwood operation to LTV Corporation. The new owner shut down the mines in 1986. At its peak, there were some 2,000 people living in the southern West Virginia town. By 1900, the population had declined to 900. Today, the town is nearly uninhabited. Its once fine homes are decaying at a fast pace. Oliver Springs had a peak population of about 3,659 people. That was back in 1980. It's now just under 3,300, but the population has been stable since 2000, a year after October Sky finished its run in the theaters. I'm glad that many of the town's older homes have been renovated and restored to their original beauty and appearance, including the home of General Harvey H. Hanna. In many respects, the stories of Coalwood, West Virginia and Oliver Springs, Tennessee are now linked together and perhaps will be for many years to come. There are hundreds of other small towns scattered throughout the hills and hollers of our native Appalachia. Folks, why not pay a visit to them to see for yourself how rich our heritage really is? Thanks for joining me on this short reflection of my visit to Oliver Springs for October Sky Day. Until I see you again, may the good Lord bless and keep you. May He make His face shine on you and give you peace. Bye-bye.